going to put the chemical into the gun and then get it primed. The first 3 sprays will be water before we get to chemical. Now we flush the water out of the system. We'll install a plug. We have to go about every 6 inches all the way around. This end has a hollow core, so we'll find an active area on the tree, remove that, then we're going to install a little check valve that prevents disease and insects from getting into the tree where we're doing our injection. And then the way the label reads, now we're going to do 1 milliliter per site, and that one's done.
So 1 squeeze is 1 milliliter.
Yep. Now we're going to go, it's going to be more than 6 inches here because you're going to do 1 injection per 6 inches at breast height. So we're going to come down and spread them out here and go all the way around. And there's not a lot of activity in the low spots. It's more on the high spots. So we try not to go directly into one of the valleys. If we inject a tree every 2 years, the bug will not touch the tree. And we do the injections because what we used to do is a soil drench. We'd mix up in 5-gallon buckets, lots of insecticide, and just pour it out on the ground. The tree would absorb it. The problem is, then you've got insecticide in large volume out in the environment, just killing anything that it touches. And then the other way that people would do it would be that spray. They get a high-pressure sprayer and just launch the stuff up into the tree, let it get on the leaves and absorb in. Once again, it's drifting down, it's going everywhere, it's going everywhere. So now, this is the most targeted way to do it. Only bugs that eat this tree will end up being killed. And we really, that's the best that we can hope for. We don't want to kill anything except for what's taking bites out of the tree. Yeah. This is a mitocloprid. The manufacturer calls it pointer. The guy loves dogs. He names all of his chemicals after different kinds of dogs. Got greyhound, pointer, and all this other stuff.
Chickens. Would that affect the chickens?
No.
Oh, good.
Only if they ate a whole bunch of the tree.
Okay.
And even then, the biology of it, some of the really cool insecticides we use are based on nicotine, because a lot of bugs can't handle nicotine. It kills them. And for us, it's not good. But
It's still poisonous.
It's still poisonous. Mm-hmm. It's not good for us, but it doesn't kill us like it does the bugs.
Okay.
This is a really safe insecticide. I wear safety glasses because sometimes when I inject it into the tree, trees have a vascular system like people. They got like blood vessels. And sometimes if you inject too far or too much, it'll spray out somewhere else. And you don't know, it could get you in the eye, and that's the only place that would bother me. It's a really mild insecticide, for our purposes. But if you get it in the eye, it's not good. But I'll go ahead and inject a few more and you'll see what it's like. So what we do, our first step is to find a good place. I've already measured the tree. I know that I need 28 injections. And I'm just going to go around the tree and spread them out evenly. But we make a small hole. It's about 1/8 inch. Emerald ash borer came into the country in like 99, and they didn't, or it was earlier than that.
Really? It came here in like 2000.
Yeah, it got to Indiana in 02, and nobody really knew how to treat them for probably 3 or 4 years after that.
Do you have distinct, like obvious things that the ash borer has gotten to it?
If you see an ash tree and the tips are dying back, so the very ends of the limbs are dying back, it's probably got the emerald ash borer.
Really?
And it takes about 3 years for the bug to kill the tree, because what they do is they lay their eggs in the fissures of the bark. So in these grooves they'll lay their eggs, and then the eggs will hatch, and the larvae, instead of just chewing on the tree in straight lines, they do these really cool when a bug tunnels around a tree, it's cut off that vascular tissue, and it has to connect the roots to the top. So if the bug would go straight up the tree, that's 1 or 2 little tubes that are gone, not a big deal. But when you have thousands of them zigzagging back and forth like this, it's like you went through and took a chainsaw and cut a ring all the way around the tree. And that's why it's bad.
What other kind of trees do you treat? Not just
We
with
treat
ash?
a lot of pin oaks because pin oaks are very popular to plant in town, And in town's not the best place for them to grow. So you'll see a lot of pin oaks with yellowed leaves, and that's deficiencies, mostly with iron. We can inject them with iron and they'll green right up. In a week, they'll turn from yellow to green.
Oh, wow.
We do a lot of honey locusts. There's a worm called a mimosa webworm. And there's whole neighborhoods here in town that were planted with hundreds of the same tree. And anytime you have hundreds of the same tree, whatever bug enjoys that tree is going to thrive.
So what do you see of the one trees that have a lot of, like a bed? It's like a web, white web with a lot of...
It's a bagworm.
Yeah, bagworms.
Lose that.